He fell asleep in New Jersey before the bombs hit the ground. Broadcasting from a bomb shelter, he is the nuclear clown.
I remember 1991. 1991 was a glorious time when I had hair and hopes and dreams and things of this nature. And as life has just brutally butt-humped all sense of hope out of my face, I came away with a few things. Mainly that big giant comic book events are garbage because nothing momentous or huge that happens in them lasts. And it's all going to get undone or redone or retconned when the next writing team comes along. So there's not really a whole lot to keep invested in or really a reason to, because any massive events are just going to be changed or just brought back to their baseline sooner or later. So that's why I don't follow comic books. Also, I'm poor and I can't afford things like paper. Which brings us to Infinity War. Now, a little bit of a history pretext. Is that the word? Is that the adult word? An adult should let me know that. The Infinity Gauntlet was a 6-issue series from Marvel in the early 90s. And I remember when this came out because a lot of huge stuff was going on in the early 90s as far as comic books go. They broke Batman's back. It got fixed. They killed Superman. He came back. Thanos wiped out half of every living thing in the universe. They came back too. Which proves my point. The video's over. That's really all I had to talk about. Now let's talk about some movies. Instead. And I remember growing up and I thought, these are huge, earth-shattering comic book things, and I'm going to buy 6 copies of each, and then I'm going to sell them when I'm fat and bald and gross, and I'm going to retire. And I'm going to sell my Death of Superman comic, and that's going to be my house, obviously. And then I'm going to sell my Batman Gets His Back Broken comic, and that's going to be my car collection, obviously. And then I'm going to sell my Azrael Becomes the New Batman comic, and that's going to be my Russian Bride. Obviously, because somebody has to pay the rubles for that. And so I bought all these comics, and they're worth nothing. They're worth less than nothing. Because that's what happens when you print 8 billion of something. And then 8 billion people buy them all with the same exact plan in mind. So I have 9 copies of the Infinity Gauntlet rotting away, and you have 12 copies of the Infinity Gauntlet rotting away somewhere too. And this is why I'm poor. How about you? So they did a follow-up to the Infinity Gauntlet comic book, because once this series ended and they said, hey, we made money off this and I need a new boat, how can we just bash this series into the ground? They said, let's do another one. And they did something called the Infinity War, which was another thing. I just remember Spider-Man with 6 arms. It was something where, like, in the Infinity War, there were evil versions of all the superheroes running around, and it was lame and dumb. I got them anyway. They're worth nothing as well. Depressing video, isn't it? The moral of my story is nothing matters, and nothing is worth anything that I have here. So then they did another thing that rolled into Adam Warlock and the Infinity Watch. I got that too because I'm a glutton for punishment, and that sucked and went nowhere relatively quickly. Which brings us to Avengers: Infinity War, the film. I told you we'd talk about it eventually. It was a little weird when I heard that they were calling it Avengers: Infinity War, because I was expecting 6-armed Spider-Man and stuff like that. Because, you know, the original miniseries was called Infinity Gauntlet. So it was kind of weird. They just skipped right to the Infinity War part. But, I mean, that makes total sense, and it was a good move, because Avengers: Infinity War sounds a lot better than Avengers: Infinity Gauntlet. Gauntlet, because Dave says words funny, because lack of education. So the film, let's get to the film. I guess first I should preface it. Well, my non-spoiler free review is, these movies aren't for people like me. I'm 38 years old, and I just don't have time for this shit anymore. And I know that when I go see a Marvel movie, it's going to be 2 hours and 40 minutes of CGI and rubbery, wet-looking, computer-generated pixel characters flopping around on screen and stuff blowing up. And, I mean, to me, it's all the same. Whenever a fight scene breaks out in a comic book movie, I just zone out. I'm sitting there and I'm watching it, but I couldn't care any less because I'm not invested in it because it's all fucking fake and it's a guy standing in front of a green screen screaming and, we'll do the rest later. We'll do the rest in post, I guess. And I don't care, to be honest, but, that's what the kids are into, so okay. So the CGI stuff, I thought, oddly enough, was a little silly and bad looking for the most part. I do have some good things to say about the actual effects, which I normally don't because I don't care most times. There is one of Thanos, and I say Thanos, Thaynos, because I don't know, Thanos makes my mouth weird. So I'm going to say Thanos. I'm sorry if that offends you. But if me saying Thanos offends you, then that's how saying Magneto offends me because it's not a magnet, it's a magnet. But anyway. So, Thanos has like his bros, his guys that are helping him out here. His henchmen, I guess. And one of them I really, really liked. And you'll probably say, well, Dave, didn't you know who that was? That was Inglebab from the comics. And Inglebab debuted in The Man Called Nova number 74 and blah, 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 blah. And I don't know who it is. I don't care who it is. I don't care if they made him up just for this movie or if he's a pre-established guy. They'll probably do an 8-series prequel about him and his dad or whatever later. But I thought he was very cool. He was like the make things float with my head guy and stuff. And I thought he was really neat. And kind of his facial expressions, I thought came off really natural as far as like the CGI and the special effects go. I like that. I did notice that and thought that was pretty neat. Normally when I see CGI stuff, everybody just looks rubbery and silly and goofy. Like Black Panther. Oof. The CGI in that was abysmal. Like, I don't know how, in this day and age, to have CGI as bad as the stuff I saw in Black Panther, like the big fight scene with the rhinos, that was awful. Anyway. So anyway, Infinity War. 'Cause war's a bitch, man. So all that stuff aside, my spoiler-free review of Infinity War is, up until the very end, I thought, I'm tired of superhero movies. I'm just burnt out on them. So, same old. Until the end. I really liked Infinity War because of the end. And Infinity War is my favorite of these Marvel comic book movies of all time. By a lot. Because of the end. But up to the end, it's the same old tripe, if that makes sense. We'll get into it in my spoiler-laden, my extra spoiler fixin' review, I guess, is what you could say. So, let's get to spoiling, shall we? I'm going to say some nice things about the whole Marvel movie dealie in general. I very, very greatly, and in all seriousness, appreciate and respect the dedication to this story kind of unfolding, right? In all these Marvel movies that have been coming out since way back when, they've been mentioning these Infinity Gems and these Infinity Stones or whatever. And they've been kind of in the storyline woven in throughout, right? And as these movies kind of keep on being puked upon us, it kind of, in a roundabout way, depicts Thanos' quest to get these Infinity Gems, right? And he finally gets a couple of them and starts his campaign kind of in earnest and whatnot. And Infinity War started off with him having 2 of them. And throughout the movie, it's sort of his quest to get them, to get the rest of them. And big, huge superhero fight. Everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of the people who have been featured in the Marvel movies kind of band together to defeat him. I don't have too much to say about the actual storyline, but I will say no Ant-Man and no Hawkeye. So somebody at Marvel likes Dave because Hawkeye's stupid, and so's Ant-Man. Really, when you think about it. I am continually, the takeaways I got from Infinity, I'm not going to go over the story because really, I mean, that's it. It's just Thanos getting his rocks off and putting him in a glove, because his quest for the Infinity Boot, the Infinity Knee Brace, and the Infinity Ace Bandage were all unsuccessful. So he went for the glove and he got it. The Infinity Catcher's Mitt he got. I mean, that's pretty much it. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but yeah, not much to talk about as far as I'm concerned there. I'm continually perplexed about Iron Man's relentless hard-on for putting a high school child in danger here. And so he makes Spider-Man an Avenger in this. And Spider-Man's still like 15, isn't he? He's still in school. And you're making him an event. That's not legal, Iron Man. You're supposed to be a good guy in all this, and you're making a minor, you're putting a minor in these life-threatening situations, and somebody should call someone and have this taken care of right away. This is at least child endangerment, and you can't, I mean, Tony Stark runs a business. You can't hire a minor, you can't do things like that. But he does. Because iron knows no law. We pay the iron price here at Stark Enterprises, I guess. So that was something there. Spider-Man is in this, like everybody else. And I want to talk about Iron Man because Iron Man makes me sick. And we're to a point with Iron Man where he can just do whatever the fuck he wants, can't he? Because nanobots. Ooh, nanotech. Iron Man doesn't even need a suit anymore. He's got glasses or whatever the fuck, or a high school ring that turns into the Iron Man suit. He doesn't even need to carry around a box with a helmet in it. It's just, oh, well, look, see this earring right here? It can turn into the whole Iron Man suit. And then that same thing, because nanobluz, I can make a big gun. Like the AC/DC song, I can turn it into these big sound wave generator things. I could turn my hand into a giant cannon. So Iron Man's pretty much Green Lantern in this, and I'm just sitting there like, whatever. What the fuck? I understand that superhero stuff it's the realm of bullshit, and it's garbage, and it's not supposed to make sense, and we're talking about guys who can fly and Infinity Ace bandages and whatnot. But there has to be some kind of point where we can say, come on, right? But now Iron Man can just do whatever. He made Spider-Man a suit, and now Spider-Man can fly around in outer space, and he's got these Spider-Man or spider tentacle things, and just technology. Why does this happen? Technology. Nanoblots. Tony Stark is rich. That's the end all be all plot fixer upper for these movies, and Iron Man can do whatever. To me, it makes him boring and stupid. I'm sick of Iron Man. I've been sick of Iron Man for movies and movies and movies upon movies, and his smarmy comments and yuck haha moments. It's just infuriating to me at this point in time. I'd just like to get that out of the way. My built-in Iron Man hate I have. Okay, that's done. We can move on in this movie. Captain America in this film looks exactly like my friend's younger brother. Exactly to the point where I could not take him seriously throughout this entire movie because of how much he looked like my friend's younger brother. Now, that's not a flaw in the movie. I doubt Stan Lee was sitting there thinking, you know what? Dave's friend's younger brother looks like something I'd like to work with. Or anything like that. I just thought it would be something you'd like to hear. I don't have any pictures of him because I would totally just put one up. I should probably try and get one. Nah, okay. That much. Just take my word for it. He looks exactly like him. It was hysterical. So anyway, it's interesting to mash together all these people. In a way, it's a feat in and of itself that the Infinity War wasn't 5 hours long. A lot of people online, well, not a lot of people, but I've seen people online saying how the Infinity War is 2.5 hours. To me, that's not that long, considering what they're doing and how much they're cramming into this movie, how many people they're cramming into this movie. And for all intents and purposes, I think they did I don't want to say a good job. I'll say a fair job. Fair enough where things kind of flowed and it didn't really seem like there were too many, hey guys, I'm here next. Hey guys, me too. Look, I'm going to do one cool thing and then never be seen again. Everybody was kind of present and involved in the film, and the screen time was, I think, adequately spread out for the massive humanity and inhumanity, I guess, that was crammed into this film. So, I mean, that's pretty neat. That's pretty cool there. So good job. Good job on that, because that's hard to do. I remember, it reminded me of a way, way, way less intense version of Spider-Man 3, the old Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3, which everybody seemed to hate except me. I liked it. I did. They had a lot to do to cram into a movie, and I thought they did it in a way that didn't feel crazy, crazy rushed. And I thought, wow, that's good. You packed in a bunch of stuff in a movie. It wasn't too overly long. And Infinity War is like 800 times more people. So, good job. Good job there. But I did, as I'm sitting there, I did get the feeling like, God, just end. Like, I'm so over this. And that is me. That's not the movie. Because 2.5 hours for to me, that's perfectly reasonable, right? The Infinity War, the Infinity Gauntlet saga or whatever. Okay, if you're going to make that a 2.5 hour movie, I understand that. I get that. We've got a lot of ground to cover and a lot of people to kind of throw in there. So if it's between the way it came out and chopping off a half hour, but making it seem like, you know, hey, are you guys here? Yeah, look, I'm here too, for a second, and then pan to Moon Knight, who's like, yeah, I'm here too. Yay, Moon Knight. And then go to, you know, Iron Fist, woo! And then on to the next one. I'd much rather have it be as it was. That being said, me, Dave, fat, tired, sleepy Dave, was like, get me out of here. I'm just tired of this CGI fest. My eyes are tired of all of this. Of all of this green screen. But the big surprise in Infinity War, for me, was Thanos himself. I don't remember anything about the character from the Infinity Gauntlet because it was so long ago that I read it. But I absolutely love how they portrayed him in this. Because I was expecting typical bad guy, I want the Infinity Gems because power rules and I want to kill everybody. And that's just how we roll here at Bad Guy Central. And it wasn't like that. Thanos, I thought, came off in a much more sympathetic way than I ever would have thought he would have. And I think it was really, really good that they kind of went into him as a character instead of just a mindless bad guy. Because he explains in one part how, in his homeland, there were so many people and they were all starving and he was in charge. So he said, well, okay, we got to do something here. People are starving. We can't just all die out. So I'm just going to eradicate half of the population, but I'm going to do it fairly. And it's going to be completely random. No regard for if you're wealthy or poor. It's going to be strictly business. It's survival. Half of us have to die so that the other half can survive instead of all of us dying. And, kind of a Kodos the Conqueror thing from my favorite original series Star Trek episode of all time, The Conscience of the King. Actually, the same exact thing. Actually, the Infinity War is just a Star Trek ripoff. I'm not going to go that far. But, and as he goes on, and the whole thing with him and Gamora, and, he did care about her and he did love his quote unquote daughter, and I like what they did with Thanos a lot. A whole lot. So even beyond the whole CGI fest nightmare, the main character was very compelling. So much so that I really thought it would have been neat if this movie was kind of pushed back and they did an entire movie just about Thanos acquiring these gems first. Like, do a whole film where you kind of get in his head and he gets all these gems, and call it, I don't know, Thanos' Quest, or the Wrath of Thanos, or, One Glove, Two Girls, or something like that. Something along the lines of my fan fiction, I guess. And, I would have really liked to see that, but then, I don't know, that might have portrayed him a little bit too sympathetic. But they portrayed Thanos in a great way. Complete, awesome thumbs up. I was not expecting that. Really, really nice. So for them to do all that, throw in all those characters, and have them kind of weave in and out well, and have, not really anyone dominate the story, or kind of have it be spread too thin, for that, and for them to flesh out a bad guy so much in 2.5 hours, is really well done. It's kind of easier, though, when you've had 15 or 16 movies worth of source material, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm just oversimplifying, but they did a really good job with Thanos, and I liked him quite a bit. And he's saying in one part how he wants to wipe out half of the living beings in the universe and then go to an abandoned world somewhere and just sit there and watch the sun come up. And like know that the universe is grateful to him for kind of clearing it out, I guess, for kind of weeding out some things. And to me, I thought that was so great. And then I realized something. Thanos and Dave are the same fucking person. 'Cause I'm a crabby old man and I just want everybody to shut up and leave me alone. I want to get up and not talk to anyone. I just want to sit down and play video games and just kind of say, yeah, it's nice and quiet. And so I resonate with Thanos because I'm a mass murdering psychopath who doesn't like anyone. And it's hard for me not to enjoy a movie like that. As hard as all the CGI nonsense really, really super tried to. But it's not all flowers and roses with Infinity War because there were some things I didn't like. Beyond the whole Iron Man thing, I understand why Thanos needs an army, because it can't just be one big blue guy fighting 57 superheroes, because that would be madness and silly looking. So you need cannon fodder for Captain America to punch in the face. On a side note, there is a funny, I thought it was funny anyway, criticism of the Infinity War, because I did a little bit of research. Research. I clicked a couple of buttons on Wikipedia and used my eyes for about 3 seconds. And people were critiquing the original comic, and they were on Wikipedia, they were kind of like going back on some critiques of the original. Is my phone vibrating? No, who would call me? And one of the things I thought was pretty funny was somebody said that the Infinity War was too focused around cosmic characters that were created by the writer and not really like other big names in the Marvel Universe. So like Captain America, Spider-Man, stuff like that weren't as big of a player as like your Adam Warlocks and Silver Surfer and stuff like that. And I don't really doubt that the writer said, well, I'm going to focus my characters because my characters are pretty damn cool. But in the same breath, I mean, doesn't that only make sense? Thanos, we're talking about like a threat to the entire galaxy. And Captain America's just a grunt. He's a Marine with the shield, guys. I mean, yeah, Spider-Man, you can climb up walls and stuff, but you can't survive the vacuum of motherfucking space unless you have a Tony Stark nanosuit. So, you know, I don't know. I kind of like that. It's like, listen, Earth's mightiest heroes. It's in the name, Earth's mightiest heroes. This is kind of a universe thing. So let the cosmic guys handle the universe thing and you guys handle the Earth thing. You know, Red Skull's trying to rob a bank. Go get him, Cap. But, you know, this whole, like, galactic implosion business, why don't you leave it to the experts here? So I thought that was kind of funny. But anyway, no Adam Warlock in this yet. I mean, it's no secret they're going to do an Infinity War Part 2. My huge erection, well, not huge, happened at the end. Because we all know what's going to happen, right? We all know that Thanos is going to lose. He's not going to succeed in his mad-capped plan to blow up half of all the living things in the universe. But he does. Like, at the end of Infinity War, 50% of the living beings in the galaxy just die. They just die. And Spider-Man dies. And people are just disintegrating left and right. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, where's the Matrix? I love you, Neo. Come back to life moment, because we all know what's going to happen. But, no. They don't. Thanos is in a barren world somewhere, and he walks out and he sits down just like he said he wanted to, and he smiles. And that's the fucking end of the movie. We won. We won. Bald, grumpy old man Dave got his peace and quiet. So for that, I can't give Infinity War enough thumbs up. Even Six-Armed Spider-Man clone doesn't have enough thumbs up to give for how much I like that. Now, the movie itself was, you know, for the most part, big, loud CGI fest and whatever. You know, we've seen all of, I mean, wasn't any different, wasn't any worse, wasn't any better, just, okay. But, for Thanos being, them putting that extra amount of oomph into his character to make him compelling and to make him interesting and to not just make him, you know, crazy maniacal bad guy number 12. And for them actually having the balls to give a Marvel movie a fucking downer of an ending on the likes of which I can't even begin to imagine. I would recommend Infinity War to anyone. To anyone. I loved it. I loved it because of that ending, if that makes any sense. Now, I mean, when you really look at it, we've had, 15, 16, 17 of these Marvel movies that have all had the good guys win at the end ending. So for them to do one where the bad guy wins, you know, you might say, well, that's a little bit watered down when you compare. But I still love it. I mean, I still absolutely, positively love it. But I had one thing. Captain America. Okay, there's this one part where Captain America, where everybody just starts disintegrating. It's like they turn to ashes, right? And Captain America sees his best friend Bucky, his old war buddy, whatever, guy, pal, boy toy. I don't know why I said boy toy. It just seemed to fit. Boy toy Bucky, as he was called, in the Soviet lands. He's like, you know, he just sort of watches him disintegrate. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, oh shit, there's gonna be a really cool Captain America, like, oh no, my brother in the trenches died, Bucky! Like a big emotional outpouring of, you know, what the fucking fuck? No, the platoon, you know, on the knees part. But nah, Cap was just like, that's fucking weird, isn't it? I like that part and analyze this. I love that part where Robert De Niro's like, and I had the dream and the milk in the bottle was black. And then you hear his guy off camera like, that's fucking weird. Love that part. So yeah, that was, I wanted to see that moment. I thought would be pretty cool, but they just, not really. I mean, Thor was in this and Thor did his Thor thing and he had a giant World of Warcraft axe for, I mean, okay. Like, look, I haven't seen all the Marvel movies. I don't want to. I didn't see Thor Ragnarok. Half the stuff that was going on, I was like, what? Thor has one eye now and short hair? Guess so. So, you know, Winter Soldier, I didn't see it. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm not going to sit here and sit through, you know, 25 minutes worth of credits to watch a 5-second scene most of the time. I'm just going to get up and leave. But sometimes I'm asleep and I kind of wake up and see the after credit part. So there's that. So I'm not too terribly invested in these films. So there's a lot going on. I'm sure a lot of the little things I didn't miss. So I'm trying not to nitpick on plot points because they might have been explained in other movies that I did not see. I'm trying to stick to just the generalities, I guess. Which is why I don't have too many big, huge nitpicks. But I do have one. Thanos is fighting the Guardians of the Galaxy, or some of them, half of them, whatever. And he uses his rad cool Infinity Gem powers. He just turns Drax, he just crumbles like a statue. And then he turns some other girl, I don't know her name, into like paper, like ribbons of paper or whatnot. And then Star-Lord does something, and then Thanos says, you know, you amuse me. And then he leaves and brings his friends back to life. Why did he do that? Like, why did he bring them back? I mean, see, and it would have been easy. I guess you can kind of read between the lines and say, you know, Star-Lord, you amuse me, so I'll give you your friends back because I don't give a shit. Because what are they going to do? But can he say it? Can he say that? Because that would make him seem like a badass, I guess. Little minor nitpick there I didn't quite like. I think it would have been cool for Thanos to just smoke somebody real easy. Like really easy to the point where it's like it's such a out of nowhere moment and it's like, no, this one's not coming back. You know what I mean? Because everybody dies at the end. I would have liked a few casualties along the way, and I can't really think of anyone that died along the way. Maybe I'm missing somebody, I don't know. But I would have liked that. That would have been cool. But again, that's a minor nitpick. I guess one part that was laughably funny was Thanos is fighting some people hand to hand for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, he turns, you know, somebody to paper, turns somebody to stone, but then he's like punching Iron Man in the face. And to see, like, they pretty much just hobo bum rush him. And you have Spider-Man and somebody else trying to pull the Infinity Glove, the Infinity Gauntlet off of his hand. Just grabbing it. It was so funny to me. It was so comical. Like, you have this guy with godlike powers, and they're just physically like, give me, just let me, why won't this wig come off? It seemed so goofy to me. It seemed completely silly. Like, they're wrestling with him. They're really just like double leg takedowning. They're trying to slug it out with him. And to me, I just thought that was pretty silly and funny. But, whatever. So yeah, Infinity War. Look, I can go on and on about this or that, but all in all, because of the ending, and I know they're going to do another one, and I know everybody's going to come back to life, and none of this is going to matter at the end of the day, and it's going to be business as usual when it's all said and done. Maybe we'll lose one or two people. Maybe. I doubt it. But I mean, look, with this whole Avengers thing, we really gotta trim this roster a little bit. It's becoming a bit much. So hopefully when it's all said and done, we'll have lost some people. I mean, girl with guns if you gotta lose somebody, right? I mean, look, I'm not too thrilled with Falcon. Guy who can fly. But at least he can fly. So girl with guns who can't fly, maybe it's time you go. Maybe you can be the sacrificial lamb in all this when it's all said and done and we can all be sad for you. But yeah, so Infinity War, man. Can't recommend it enough just because of the ending. I'm a big fan of mass destruction and I like that Marvel had the guts to actually make it end on a real super downer. And it was interesting because after the credit, this one I actually sat through the credits because I wanted to see. Because I was thinking like, okay, there's going to be like a hopeful after credit scene in this probably to kind of give the audience a little bit of a, it'll be okay. And there kind of wasn't. It was just more people dying and half the world, half the universe dying. And then I don't know, Nick Fury was like beeping Captain Marvel. Like, alright. Ooh, Captain Marvel. Oh, for all you Captain Marvel fans out there. And isn't there a guy and a girl Captain Marvel? Are they the same person? I have no idea. This is probably what Google's for. So what am I sitting here talking to you guys for? No, I shouldn't have said that. Look, are you mad? Don't be mad. Don't leave angry. But go see Infinity War because tons of people die and it's really cool because tons of people die. Just, you know what? Show up about 2 hours in. Just watch the last half hour or so. That'll be pretty cool. If I could get a half-hour edit of the Infinity... Just take out all the CGI fights. Give me all the Thanos parts and everybody dying at the end. And then him sitting there smiling. I mean,